week of protests against the budget cuts and rallies for public education across the state and across the nation, including in Sacramento and in Civic Center, San Francisco, I speak with Professor Ananya Roy. Professor Roy teaches in the City and Regional Planning Department, as well as serves as the Educational Director for the Blum Center for Developing Economies. She is a huge advocate for this movement and its mobilization efforts with Save the University, and has spoken on many occasions, including at the teach-ins and the strikes last semester. Thank you so much, Professor Roy, for coming out, or taking the time to talk to us today.
You're very welcome.
How are you involved with organizing the rally in Sacramento this coming March 4th?
Well, I come to this issue as both a Cal alumna and as a faculty member. But I'm also concerned about these issues as a member of the California community and as an American citizen. I think our collective futures are at stake here. It was very much this idea of a college of debtors, which I think is one of the signs that have been posted. I saw images of that. I think thinking about a generation that in turn thinks of itself as being in perpetual debt is actually heartbreaking. One of the few things we can do to create social justice is to think about the right to education, but how that right cannot come at the cost of bankrupting people or putting them in massive debt. So that whole question of what we see as a nation and as a society as accessible education, what really is public about public education, is, I think, a key issue we have to take up.
So what is your opinion about our school getting more involved?
Like many others, I'm a mid-level soldier, as I like to think of myself, in these struggles, and I think we need many, many, many mid-level soldiers if we're going to make a difference. I think what's interesting about this movement is that there isn't a person or a handful of people who speak for the movement, but it also means that there is a certain energy, a grassroots energy, that we don't fully understand, that we can't fully control, but that creates a long life for the movement. I think many of us go back and forth between involvement and disengagement. It's exhausting to be involved on top of everything else that everyone has to do. And I think that some of these collective efforts like March 4th are reminders that we do need to find that energy to come together and make this case for public education.
Do you have any plans for March 4th?
I will be going up to Sacramento, and I'll be doing so because I really think that we can do a better job making a case to the state as to why we should be funded. Public education issue is only one of many issues, but it's symptomatic of the troubles of California. But I also think that these are issues that cry out for good leadership. We need impressive politicians. We need the very bright students who graduate from Cal to get involved in the public sector, to run for public office. We have an opportunity to once again consolidate our infrastructure, to invest in ourselves. So I think we need to think about taxation, not as taxation, but as investment in our state's infrastructure and in our future and in our competitiveness.
What is your take on the governance issues in Sacramento and in our state in general?
It's about changing the common sense frames through which society sees public education, through which those running for the California governor's race will think about the UC system.
Okay, well, I think that's a great note to end. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for your time.